Good evening. Oh, that's a tough start, isn't it? Oh, oh dear. Should we just pretend that didn't happen? Uh, how are you all doing this evening? Um, welcome to WooTube. I'm Baran Woo. Uh, streamer. Shen. I assume that's meant to be say streamer, or I'm missing out on a nickname which I maybe do or don't deserve. I don't even understand it. Um, how's everyone doing today? I'm doing all right. I played a lot of Netrunner on Saturday, and I managed to catch some of the Netrunner on Sunday as well. But I was a wee bit busy family wise on the Sunday, unfortunately, so I didn't kind of catch all of the stream. I dipped in and out. Augustus, thank you very much. It was Augustus says, very sorry for tanking your SOS. I ran out of luck after top decking that hostile against you. Yeah, Augustus had a pretty sick game against me where I failed to understand how important it was to trash his server, and thus I didn't. I should have, and he just got Tucana value after Tucana value, and it all got a bit out of hand. And actually gave my corp one of its only two losses. No, my runner. Its only loss. Was it its only loss? Yeah, I think that was my only runner loss of the whole day. It's pretty good. And we'll talk about my runner on corp decks in a bit. I have also this is quite an awkward position for the mic to be in. Sorry if I tap that and it makes a big noise. I really apologise. I have also these are kind of waiting for me to finish sticking them up. They're pretty much ready to go. I have got one more to which needs a bit of editing, but this is all of my games from the weekend. Augustus, yours is up here. And I'll stick them up. Maybe even these four might go up later tonight, and then the round number 5, I just need to do a little bit of editing. Round 6, I took an ID. It's the first time I've ever taken an ID. I kind of didn't want to, but I was also really hungry. I'll be showing you the decks I didn't bring. Don't worry about it. And I'll show you the lap I was running as well and talk about that. And then, so round 6 I ID'd against Voltslov, and then round 7 I refused an ID against Deer because I knew that my SOS was probably not good enough to get me into the cut. But we ended up splitting anyway after some incredibly intense games. My games versus D were like the kind of a high point and low point of the day. I made a huge mistake against her while playing my corp and paid for it. I mean, I was probably losing that game anyway. But yeah. Some pretty funky decks which came out. This was obviously Soccer's winning deck, which just looks wild. Like, it really doesn't look like any Hashiko that we've seen recently. This is like 18 resources, like only 2 fermenters. There's no botulus, there's no anything, just showing that sometimes you just play good Netrunner and you get there. Pretty cool. Yeah, really interesting, and did incredibly well, obviously. Like, go check out Soccer's stream if you want to see him pilot this. Is the prevalence of Hashiko again in any way worrisome or annoying? Interesting. It's boring. But the problem is that I quite like Hashiko, mainly because when I started playing a bit more competitively, I or when I started doing well competitively, it was when I started playing as Hishiko, because I found that she kind of forced me to make accesses and do things, crazy ideas like running our HQ, like wow, crazy. Because you want to get that access, you want to flip her, you want to turn her on. Sorry, terrible phrase, but you know, you want to get your Hashiko value. And yeah, it was kind of interesting because I don't want to see her go, and I think it's more diverse now, certainly than it was. We can have a little look at Cobra, and actually, you know, what have we got here? We got Hashiko, but then Lat, Sable, Lat, Hashiko, Arasana 4-9. So I don't really think, and then Freedom, and then some more Hashiko. So there is like a lot of Hashiko in the top 16, but not, you know, like the last meta. I think some of the sort of top 8s and whatever we were seeing were 8 Hashikos or 7 Hashikos and one other person. So this feels a bit better. Arasana has actually proven to be quite the powerhouse on the Shaper side, which is excellent because it's really kind of balancing things out a little bit. And I think there'll always be players who can play some good stuff criminal, like Rotom, and just get there with it. But yeah, kind of really interesting list from Soccer. Really, just I look at this and it almost makes no sense to me, even though there's no cards which don't make any sense. It's just very, very interesting. His mind is fantastic. Shout out to Nicholas's girlfriend, or your Nicholas's girlfriend, for the best name that I've seen so far. Excellent stuff. Very, 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 very good naming. Also sticking former Kerry Skunkworks into an Ag Infusion build. Disgusting. Because you even have like additional divert power potential, which is already a good card in Ag Infusion, especially in Keeling Ag Infusion, because you can de-res and re-res for Keeling. Like, oh, gross. Shout out to Yanchuno. I had a little sneaking suspicion that Bran was really good. Turns out that Bran is really good. I mentioned to a friend of mine that was considering playing Ag Infusion. I was like, have you considered Bran? Because in Ag Infusion, it's really disgusting. This first sub, like, that's great for Ag Infusion to fire. And you can't just click through this because it's Ag Infusion. So, yeah, I fully understand this deck. I could see why it did so well. And I think Jan even mentioned they don't even really need cold site servers. They were like kind of nice to have there, but I think they mentioned that maybe just Skunkworks would be fine. Probably correct. Or, you know, just stick in free copies of Warroid Tracker. Sorted. This was Deer's deck so much. Hey Sanjay, how are you doing? So impressed about the brands in Ag Infusion. So, yeah, 100% great include. Just absolutely solid. Augustus is mad that it's so close to that idea. I had exact list like that, but with Tollbooth instead of Bran. Yeah. So that's the thing. Tollbooth dies to Hush, as you mentioned. I might even have mine. It's like not on free Bran, I don't think. But it like theirs is a lot neater than mine looked. I think it's this one was what ours. No, let's not show too much of that just in case. Maybe I built it in Jinteki. That's harder to find. Anyway, yeah, this was D's list, which was like my last game of the day. really solid showing and just bringing straight up like Glacier and going hard. Speaking of chunky Biroid Ice Corps that I was impressed with by people seeing that, right? Yeah, D, exactly. AOT. Um, I hadn't considered bringing AOT, but just the fact that it does so well against Hermes, I'd been seeing it online a lot, and all of a sudden people are trying it out again, and I think that is clearly why, because it is anti-Hermes tech, and you can play free Bran and res them for free. Ravana's actually also pretty decent in the like earlier game, unless people get sort of turbine rigs down. And how do you deal with a tier nowadays? Like, I mean, well, I guess you numb through it, right? Like that's what you do. Um, but other than that, I mean, if you're playing numb, then you're spending 6 to get through this answer each time. That's pretty expensive. This you're paying like I was fully set up and I was still paying 4 to get through the brands, which was really really painful. Um, Unfortunately, I couldn't record my game against D, which was a bit of a shame. They weren't up for being on record, which is absolutely fine. Completely understandable. It was like a very tense game. Um, yeah, the Ravana combo is pretty disgusting. Um, yeah, because is there like a can you like keep is there something stupid that you can do with Ravana where you can get them to draw their entire deck, which is great if you have a million credits, but if not, I'm sure there's something silly you can do with Ravana. Yeah, and you just kind of force them uh, to like essentially, yeah, because you keep resolving another Ravana, right? You Ravana a Ravana, Ravana a Ravana, blah 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 blah, and so they keep firing, and then they have to draw all like 49 cards of their deck, which if they do that sort of turn 3 or 4 when they don't have any money, it's hilariously bad for them. Nice, good shout, Changer. um this was fun. This was a very hard deck. I managed to beat it, but I scraped a win against this. Unfortunately, this game is the one which I still got to edit a little bit, but I think I'd highly recommend going and checking this out. This was round 5 versus Redino. Both of my games against him were like pretty epic games. Fun combo here, obviously. Funhouse B1001, disgusting. They've also got former carries, Stegodon, disgusting. Ablative barriers, so they can pull back the B1001s, disgusting. And they re-resolve their ice for free with Vovo. Yeah, this one was nearly very tough. I had a hush, and that won me the match, essentially. So let's have a little look at my decks, shall we? Because I might also I recorded all my games, and I also at 2 points tried to record like an introduction to them, and both times I got halfway through introducing the Corp deck, and then I ran out of time. Like a game started, or I had to go and do something. And Sanjay, that's epic. Yeah, I was quite exciting. I was quite excited as well. I've done well at some previous competitive events, but never one maybe quite this big. I did like all right at UK Nats, which was like 100 people. This I actually had a chance of making the cut. It's the first time I think I've had a real chance of making the cut. I mean, I got to ID in one of. I've never been able. I've never kind of wanted to ID before, but I've also never been able to. And I was able to ID around again. Maybe I shouldn't have, but yeah, just I mean, bubbled out by SOS, but as were like 20 people, because so many people ended up on Or was it 30 points? Okay, so let's see if I can zoom in. Can you? That's probably better, isn't it, in terms of seeing stuff? Yeah, can we see all the cards there? We can see all the cards there. So I will try and do an intro now and introduce both the decks, and then I can maybe even use it later and stick it into YouTube. So this is the runner deck, which I took to Continentals. The idea for this deck basically came from the fact that I was very ill last week. I couldn't really do that much testing, and I was planning to do like testing and building last week, and that didn't really happen. But what I could do is watch or rewatch basically all of Cody's videos. And Diogene, you're 100%. Hush is a central tech. So I got to rewatch Cody's videos and really kind of analyze them. And he took 2 different lat lists to the 2 Continentals. Sup, Axie, how you doing? Excellent work on the stream on the Sunday, by the way. So, and Sanjay, excellent work commentating. I think commentating both days. Sorry, I should give you props as well. Really enjoyed the commentary team. So, I took both of Cody's decks. One of them was on Lilypad, one of them was on Anicam. I basically kind of mashed them together in a weird kind of Frankenstein's monster of them both. Because firstly, I really wanted to play Lilypad because I love the 2MU. It means that I only have to play 1 DZMZ. I love being able to control the draw on the corpse turn with SMCs and Simul chips. And I wanted to play a new card, and I've actually really enjoyed Lilypad over Anicam. I know Cody's gone back to Anicam, but I'm all here for the Lilypad. I took out the legwork because to play legwork you need to be a really good player and have a good understanding of where agendas are. I haven't got a clue. So that had to come out. But I also needed to free up influence because I definitely wanted to play at least 1 Hush, and as we all know, that's at least won me at least 1 game. I've then wasn't sure. I played around with a few things for the other influence. At one point, I had a Hannah Wheels in here, which I really like. I think that's one of the best tech cards that was released in the last set. But in the end, I took her out for 2 copies of No Free Lunch, which I found to be useful. They were. This could have been No One Homes, but I also considered the fact that this is essentially an econ card, even in matchups where it doesn't matter. Great question, Tanuki D. I'm going to get to that in just a second because that's actually a really big include, and I'll explain why. So the event package here, pretty standard. Okay, we've got creatives, we've got diesels, we've got overclocks, we've got sure gambles. I cut a dirty laundry. I'm on only 2. Hannah is so good. And then 1 deep dive to finish off. And actually 1 deep dive was generally enough. And I won quite a few games because of a deep dive. Not because of a deep dive, but because on the turn where I ran all 3 centrals to win off deep dive, I stole an agenda and won. I might have actually... I must have fired at least 1 deep dive, right? I'd have to check. Very possibly. Did you find that the deck is really based around Lilypad? In the decks where I used it, it's quite essential. Yes. So 100%. This is why I'm playing free. The games where I didn't draw Lilypad, you can really see me struggling for draw. The games where I have Lilypad early, I am chucking diesels and Dr. Nukas in the bin. Like the amount. Like once you've got this down, this plus lat, all of the other econ, the other draw, you almost always just draw past it because you do not need it so often, which is just great. But it really propels you forward. We're playing 3 Simul chips because we want to do stuff on the corpse turn. We want to get back our fermenters. We want to have clot lock, and we're also stops us getting ripped on by rig shooter. which is okay, as we found out. And then our programs, 16 of these suckers. Quite a lot. So we got free fermenter, which is a big part of our econ. We put one of these down. We sometimes draw a card. We sometimes put it down for free. It's really, really good. It ticks up. We don't have to worry about running or doing anything like that. This is a turbine rig, so we are a bit more of a late game kind of, we do need to set up before we can make lots and lots of runs. So we're breaking with turbine, echelon, cleaver, buzzsaw, pretty standard. But then Cody in his decks had an Ngolo, and he described this as a tech card for the outfit matchups. And when I was testing out the deck, I found that in the outfit matchups, the Ngolo was utterly crucial. If you didn't have that, then you lost the outfit matchup. There's no chance that you can break their six strength ice early in the game, because Buzzsaw, I think it costs like 12 if you want to actually break Valentau. I've not even done the maths on the other one, on Trebuchet with Echelon, and no other installs. Someone else do it for me. How big were your fermenters pops in general? Generally about 8. Generally about 8 was if they got to 10, but I always just popped them, because you shouldn't be too greedy unless you have all the money in the world. Just pop them and maybe get another one straight down with a simul chip. So Cody was on Ngolo, and I was until about 3 hours before deck submission, when I sent my mate Rob Mendax a message, and I went, why am I playing Ngolo when I can play Atman 6? Atman 6 gets through Trebuchet for 2 credits, and it gets through Valentau for 2 credits. This deals with all of the worrying outfit ice. I mean, you have to install it, and you have to put 6 counters on it, so that's like a 9 credit install. But it takes up only 1 MU, and I was really struggling for MU when I was playing the Ngolo. And if I'm breaking those things with Ngolo, I'd have to pay like 5 to 7 credits. Or I think, what have you? Sup, zombie, how you doing? So Ngolo was great versus the outfit. Atman 6 absolutely stomped it. And I've got it on video. I played 1 game against the outfit. I got an Atman 6 down. They didn't manage to big deal it with an SDS, which would have made me sad, and I just stomped through their ice. Winchester was like a slight worry, but by that time I could pull an echelon if you thought. 9 credit install seems rough, but getting through, so you're paying 9 credits, but then with the bad pub, they've always got about 4 bad pub by the time they revs both those pieces of ice. So you're breaking for free. And I mean, in terms of getting value from your runs, it's just insane. We're playing the Parisia because it does help against asset spam. It's a good thing just to put out so that we can sell it to a simul chip in some matchups. And it's a card draw off Lilypad. SMC with BP2, yeah. If you can SMC out your Atman when they've got 4 bad pub, then you kind of charge it halfway, and you can do it with an overclock, and it's done. And then I stuck in fairly last minute. This was a little tech card, Pikachu. I really liked this. This had some excellent kind of synergy, not just sort of to get your deep dives off and to do your big conduit digs, but if they have a remote which they're forcing you through every single turn, stick a Pikachu on it. You get your click back every single turn. You're going to probably put this down for free. You're probably going to draw a card off it. You can get so much value for this, and then you can always switch it to centrals with a simul chip when you need to, or you run the server twice, pull it back to hand, and then you stick it on the centrals for next turn, so that you can get your extra click deep dive. I wanted to have the ability to get an extra click deep dive. A, you want to potentially get like 2 agendas, but B, I was worried about Ikawa Project, and I was right to be worried about Ikawa Project, because holy hell, there was a lot of Ikawas around, and without a Pikachu or some other way of gaining clicks, you can't steal them off a deep dive, and that's normally when you want to steal them. No multi-access still feels like the MU would be scary. Oh, I've got multi-access. I have a conduit. I might not mention it. Sorry. It's a shame you can't use urban art creds for the Atman counts. Hell yeah, that would be sick. And yeah, they need to find a virus. I mean, that is true. Zombie, which card is broken? This one? The clicky one? Pikachu is basically wheels. Yeah. So when I took wheels out, because I used to have wheels, like I said, and maybe wheels could go back in instead of no free lunches, but I've quite liked them. When I took wheels out, I suddenly realised that I wanted an extra click giving ability, and it's not worth DJ Fenrising for Sable for a single deep dive, as I found out in the testing game. I think against Augustus. I can't remember. It was against someone that watches the stream. I cut daily casts. Yeah, it was fine. I had enough money for most of my games. These are slow but fine. I think I'd rather be on 2 of these than 3 casts, because at least, like, I don't mind playing these in the late game as long as it's not like they're gonna win next turn. Whereas I do mind playing a cast in the late game. That was my list. I think this lost 1 game to Augustus, when they just got really, really well set up, and it was my first game of the day, and I hadn't quite settled into the deck yet, because I'd made edits to it before I'd really tested it. But that video will be up either tonight or tomorrow morning, so go and check some of the games out with this. Zombie says the Pikachu card. Yeah, when I play Arasana, it's 6 click turns every damn time, and even a double deep dive with double accesses is insane. Right when you're playing against Arasana. Well, what you need, Zombie, is a deck that deals with Arasana. Let's talk about Oblight. No sugar, even less taste. This is my Ob deck, which I'm really stoked about, and it's very kind of thrown together, and yet has some serious stuff going on, and there's some things which we can improve here, which I need to work on, and of some things that I only realised when I was playing it on the day that I could do with it, which I didn't even know I could do before. So this is a Rig Shooter Ob. It's playing 3 copies of Kimberlite Field. This card is busted. It's really, really good. I'm playing this because I was worried about Hermes, and my idea was if I can score an agenda and trash their Hermes before the Hermes trigger, then I don't have to worry about Hermes. It happens. I played against a lot of Hermes. I trashed some Hermeses. Hermes? Yeah. Really good. It's also my shiny new card because no one remembered that it came out. I told Rob that I was playing Kimberlite Ob, and he said, "Is that a new card?" And I said, "No." And I bet him a tenner or something that he wouldn't be able to tell me what he does. And he went, "It's probably a grid, right?" No. So really like the agenda suite here. There's one agenda which we could consider changing, which is the Above the Law. But we've got 3 Kimberlite Fields, which trash stuff, but also trash our board to get other stuff that we need as we're doing that, which is ideal, because when you trash something with Kimberlite Field, it's often a breaker, and then you can get a piece of ice that they then can't deal with. Absolutely perfect. SDS is obviously a great agenda for any kind of rig shooter. We can score it. It's great. They can steal it. It's probably not great for them. Free Oaktown is money, and this is anti-Hermes tech. They can't bounce this back, which is really, really important. And we also need to like push agendas quite fast here. This is not like a slow, grindy lookout. This is, we are going to rush to score 7 points before they can find all the things that they're going to need to get in, and we're going to trash their stuff as they're doing that. Augustus, I went down a Mavirus for wage workers rabbit hole for my orb, but ended up cutting back. Yeah, I had considered Mavirus into wage workers. I guess like to score the 4-2, it's pretty cool. But I think Maviruses might be more important than to just use them for that, because then your wage workers is out in the open. They're just going to go and trash it. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure in this deck, but there's definitely a Mavirus for wage workers orb deck out there somewhere. And then our last agenda is an above the law, which helps us trash other stuff from the board. So everything trashes stuff pretty much here. It's particularly good to deal with Bankar, which is an issue and was still an issue. And there's certain cards which I need to test at some point, which I want to tweak. So the ice here is all here to deal with very specific things. And that's kind of how you have to think about Rig Shooter nowadays. A few bits are just good value ice, or tricky to deal with, but when you're dealing with like any kind of rig shooting thing, then you need to think about all the other stuff that isn't breakers and how you can deal with them. So Ashar is a good piece of ice. It's very solid. In particular, it can't be hippoed. So this is like anti-hippo on HQ tech, if you like. Border control, I don't need to talk about too much. We all know how good border control is, especially in OB, especially when we got a bunch of free costers which we want to pull out of the deck. We're only running one envelopment. It's kind of all I needed for the day. It's annoying to get through for almost everyone. But I would run more, but I'm already on a lot of barriers. So we didn't want to run too many more of that. We have one Hafron. This is obviously the sort of Hafron, Stavka, Mavirus, various options there, trick that's going on here, but it's not a big part of this deck. It's one thing that the deck can do, but it relies more on Kimberlite fields and sometimes Zato City grids than it does on the Hafron, but it's nice as an option, especially because what this deck is trying to do is force the runner to put out all of their breakers. And so once they've installed all their breakers, then you've got the Hafron is online. Free magnets is kind of essential because otherwise Botulus shuts you down. It's a free coster and it's excellent. I did get Hafrons off. I think one Hafron during the tournament. I'd have to like double check. It could be two, but it was like more. It's always also more of a threat. Like if there's the chance that you're going to get Stavka Hafron, then it stops the runner thinking like I'm just going to barrel into that agenda, because normally they can't. Roto Turret is potentially the thing which I'm looking at changing here. It is good in terms of the fact that it has a trash one install program and an end run, which are both great, which also make it particularly good with Zato City Grid. It's a 4 cost, which is quite good. It goes into 3 costers, but it is 0 strength. It doesn't deal like Turtle just walks through it, even if you've purged it out. It just didn't. It did stuff in one game. I think in my game against you, Augustus, I think I had a like Roto Turret protecting R&D, and that was solving a lot of issues. But I think I have to suck it up and play a Ballista in this slot instead, and I think it would be better. I hate Ballista, but there's other reasons to play a Ballista as well. So I think this is the card which is going to go. I was kind of fine with it. It was one influence. I was also considering playing Swordsman in this space because I was really worried about Turtle. Can I just convert you into some Tithes? Yeah, there should just be some Tithes. And one cost is an issue with this deck, and it's something which needs tweaking, because throughout the entire tournament, if you listen to my videos, I'm like, I wish I was playing some one cost ice, and the Tithes were exactly what I needed. So yeah, you can easily convert me. It's already on my list. Just finding the slots. One Sandstone. This did so much work on the day. This is one of the best things to pull off a border control, especially as one of the things that we're really going to focus on is trashing their barrier breakers. It deals well with sort of breakers when they've just been installed, like Cleaver trying to get through this, a bit of a nightmare. It's really good into Turtle. Staffgate is always obviously a big part of our combo, but it's 7 strength. It deals with Turtle. It deals with most breakers which aren't called Numb on the turn it's installed, and you can trash a card, which means that you can do some pretty funky kickflips off it. Sometimes it's right to trash a card, even just because Ob. Winchester I really liked. This card did a lot on the day. I think this is just a solid choice. This is probably one of the most taxing pieces of ice. I had people face check into this and have to pay like 7 credits just to stop me trashing their whole rig. Seems pretty good. And then one of the key cards of the whole deck is this little bad boy. Ob has for so long needed a good 2-cost slot that it can pull that is also an end to run. And for a while, people were trying like to play the bad Enigma. What's it called? But the Code Gate, which you lose 3 and then it might end the run maybe. But wraparound is what you need right now. If you are planning on trashing their barrier breakers, which is like one of the main things you go after here, you don't actually try to trash like the killers. You try to trash the barrier breakers, because that's what people are going to struggle with. If they've got no barrier breaker, getting through our stuff is really hard. They can't get through envelopments. They can't get through wraparounds. They can't get through sandstones easily. White space, yes, that's it. Wraparound is amazing. Absolutely. I really wanted to just play 3 wraparounds, but it is tricky because you kind of fall into this trap of like, I've got all my wraparounds down, and then if you can't trash their Fractor, then you're stuck. This is also why I need more 1-costers and 1-cost ice in particular. I didn't want to play Ice Wall just because I'm already on so many Fractors. Yes, Tanuki. Yeah, so the other thing that wraparound deals with, as well as Turtle and as well as just and Ngolo, it costs like 7 credits or something to get through this with Ngolo. It deals with Slapdown Vandal. Ching. Yeah, Quetzal would be a problem. Let's not worry about Quetzal. We can concede to Quetzal decks. We can't trash their thing. Jeff, how you doing? Well, this is the deck which I played on the weekend. But I'd love your thoughts on it. There are things which need twisting a little bit. The extracts were amazing. I'd play 6 if I could. Hedge funds were fine. The Maviruses are absolutely great in Ob. They're an essential card at the moment, especially if you're playing any kind of rig shooter, because you're going to need to deal with turtles. Tucana. This is a card I put in kind of at the last minute because I was like, originally I didn't have a Vovo and I didn't have a Tucanas, and I wasn't playing any new cards and I felt really bad about that, so I just stuck some in, and all of a sudden I realized some things that we can do with Tucana, and the joys of Tucana plus Kimberlite Field are insane. I didn't even realize till about game 5 of the day that the exact extent of what we can do with Tucana and Kimberlite Field. Because we can pull a piece of ice, any piece of ice from our deck that we want, then technically as like we can play some one-off high-cost ices to pull them out with Tucana. We get our install cost sort of paid for a bit by Tucana. If we got a Vovo, then it's even cheaper as well. And then we can trash that card to trash the thing which we want to trash. This only occurred to me about round 5, which was way too late, but this plus Kimberlite Field is like the perfect thing, because you don't need to have like a high cost piece of ice rezzed to get rid of, say, they're like, if they've got a if they got a Carmen down. Carmen's actually quite hard for us to trash in this deck because we've only got 1 5-coster, but with Tucana we can find that 5-coster and then we can trash it. So good. And really, I didn't underrate Tucana as a card, but I underrated it in this deck. It's even better than I thought it was. Incredible. I'm going to be working more on this. I was originally on 2 Yakov, which makes a bit more sense why I was on 2 NGO fronts. I think Yakov is a nutty money card, probably the best money card at the moment. If you've got a Yakov and a Vovo on your server, the whole thing is just free. Like, especially as you'll normally get to 4 points quite quickly. You're rezzing your Maviruses for 1 credit and then you're popping them for gaining 2. You're rezzing your border controls for 4 credits and then you're popping them to you're rezzing them for 2 credits. You're popping them to gain 2 credits. That's free. You can res wraparounds for 0 credits. Like, so if you've got like Vovo into wraparound on HQ and Criminal thinks that they can I was going to say divert you, but if you're on 0 credits, why would they be doing that anyway? But yeah, Vovo is very, very good. Yakov is very, very good in this deck. And Vovo is very key. It's an Econ card which costs 1. Really hard to find. And then 2 Zato Citicrids. What I found out in the very last game is that the way that this interacts with Stavka is that you can res a Stavka, and the res window is different than the encounter window. So when you res a Stavka, you can trash a 4-coster from your board to install a Zato City Grid in the server that they're running, as long as it's a remote, obviously, remote only. And then you can use the Zato City Grid to fire off the Stavka. That is a guaranteed trash as long as you have a 4-coster res. So this is like, it's maybe not better than the Half-Run combo because with that, if that goes off, you're trashing 2 things. But the Half-Run combo, there's other ways around it. If you fire this, it's going off no matter what. And I only worked that out round 7 when I was in had me like my back to the wall, what have you. We got a wall-to-wall because we needed at least one other 1-coster, which made us some money. Rashidas if you fire them off a Yakov and Nuts. NGOs if you fire them off a Yakov and Nuts. Free spin doctors. This deck is super fun. It lost 2 games, but one of them I had no chance. That was against D. She was running 3 of every breaker, 2 boomerangs, and bang cars, and they'd been practicing in the snare bears against Rig Shooter Ob because they thought it was going to be very prevalent. So she knew a lot of the lines already, and like I trashed 2 cleavers, and then when I finally conceded, she looked at her deck and she's like, "I've got another cleaver like 2 cards down." Like. Oh, sorry, D. Yes, they, not she. That is my bad. I apologize. So, yeah. They pretty much destroyed me with their runner deck. I was in a bad space. So we could play this tonight. Maybe, or we can play what I didn't take, which I think is like, I kept this a secret just in case I wanted to take it. Maybe we'll play this deck tonight, right? Or do we want to see the Ob? We want to see the ridiculous sports deck. I have just talked through the Ob. We'll play the Ob, and then maybe we'll get back to this later. Let's play the Ob. I kind of want to take the Roto turret out. I'm going to put in a Ballista as much as I hate it, but I want another 5-coster that I can potentially pull and trash. It gives us 1 credit, 1 influence, and do I let you know the sneaky thing which I want to do with this influence? Yeah, sure. Like, who doesn't like secrets on stream? We're going to play some tithes because at least one we can drop. You see, we can't really drop anything. That's the annoying thing. I don't want to drop a Tucana, but I'm going to drop... No, the Tucana's really good. One sandstone. I've got a lot of free costas already, Jeff. I think one is fine. I think we can drop one NGO front. And then this is the card which I want to play. What is it called? It's called... Here we go. So Num is a problem for this deck in some ways. You know what Num can't deal with? 9 Strength Ice. Also considered corporate troubleshooter in this slot, but I think 2 Costas are easier for us to pull than 0 Costas. I'm now over cards again, so I'm going to need to drop one more card. It might be the Afshar. Is it the Afshar? I want the Hippo Protection. It's not a Stavka. It could be one Magnet. It could be one Magnet. I'm then leaving a influence for the gods, but like there's basically nothing else I want to cut. Or we go to 59 cards. What happens if I add one more SDS? Can I then go to... What can I go to then? I can go to 54 cards. I think most Anarchs should be on Num. Yeah, probably. Yeah, Phil. We're getting mean in here. If we play it... Okay, right, screw it. It's for stream, isn't it? So let's just do this. So how many cards can we now go to? We can play a third Magnet, we can play another Tithe. We're on 19 ice. It's ridiculous. We can play another NGO, and we can play another Yakov. And that's legal, right? 23 points, 54 cards. I'd also like to play a Pivot. But I think this is fine. The other thing that we could spend this influence on, is a single copy of... yeah, maybe we play like one copy of Malia. Just so we can deal with Bankar, maybe? Or is just a better way to... well, I'm not going to be able to draw a single agenda, a single operation, am I? And I'm not on... I'm not on the thing that can draw them. Otherwise, I could play one single copy of Under the Bus. Now, we'll just play like 54 card classic... classic Netrunner. Streaming... there we go. Gosh. How popular is Num, Tanuki D? There was a lot of Num in the Anarch lists that I saw, certainly that played against me. I think it's the wise choice right now because Num deals with outfit and Num deals with Ob. Doesn't completely deal with Ob, but it deals with Ob better than other things. More cards equals better. I mean, might be right in Ob, right? We're trashing our cards. We can find stuff that we want easier. We'll see if it is the case. I know you don't. I don't know how you remember what you have left in the deck to pull. Kind of don't. You've got a reasonable idea because you know like what your 2 costas are. You know where your wraparounds are, which are like some of the first and most important ice that you want to find. Because that's forcing them to install the fractor. So let's just talk about this. Like what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them to install their fractor in particular. so that we can then trash their Fractor. It's usually focused on that. Sometimes we'll focus on their decoder, but just trash it up and hope your opponent is merciful about takebacks. Yeah, also an option. It is a deck where you'll probably find me skipping. Oh, look, Pencil's playing. Unfortunately, he's playing Corp. Should we just like ram the lat in? No, if he wanted to be on stream, then we could play lat against Pencil. See if he wants to be on stream. I might get taken apart, but it did well the other day. No, someone else joined. It's fine. I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, you'll find me like dipping into the list every now and then because I really, really need to. And our sort of early plan is we want to push an Oaktown first. That wants to be like our first agenda. And maybe playing 54 cards is where we're going to go wrong here because we do need to draw into our agendas. Like, we need them to win. And we need to draw into our Kimberlite fields before they get really, really well set up. Net Dad. Playing Arasana. We've got a fair bit of Arasana tech in here. 3 magnets and a wraparound, 2 wraparounds. Okay. Have I got my thing set up properly? Is that better? I probably need to zoom out a little bit here. We're mulliganing that. We don't want Haffron in our hands. 2 hedge funds to start with. 3 hedge funds to start with. Well, I don't just want to get like, I don't want to lose on R&D, so I am tempted to just not put any ice down though. Feels a bit risky, doesn't it? Let's go this, and this on R&D. If they stick a Trojan on it, we can always pop it. Right, now we can get the Winchester down because it's always going to have at least one target. We can draw once first. This is where I'd be tempted to play. I am tempted to play the new yellow thing. What's the like Sensi like card where you can adjust, like rearrange the top of your deck? I kind of always want to play that and ice it up and just use it at the start of my turn to make sure that I don't like draw into my half runs, and then I can probably shuffle my deck if I see it there. Okay, they're thinking, that's fine. We can't really jam out behind any of this ice, which is a bit of a shame. If we find a wraparound or another border control, then we're good to go. Sick. Okay, they're on a Mayfly list. Makes sense. I might have not installed that from hand. Okay, wraparound. They can get for a wraparound, but my word, is it expensive. That's great for next turn. What do we want to go? We probably want to go wraparound into Sandstone, right? Let's draw once more in case we get still the same, I think. So we're going to go wraparound, Oaktown, advance. They can get in, but it's going to cost them a lot of money. I mean, most of it, unfortunately, is going to come off this flame out. Um, I think we just have to force them to do this. Federal fundraising is the card I was trying to think of, Zombie. Yeah, like kind of feels pretty good in Ob as a weird like you would have to protect it, but just so that you kind of know what you're drawing into, and you can always and then you can shuffle if it's not what you want to draw into. So I guess they can get through this quite cheaply if they slap Vandal Sandstone, which would be a shame. Whoa, tree! That oh man, the flame out makes so much sense now. What are they pulling here? Are they pulling something off the Nuka? I assume. Yeah, it's the only thing you want to trash here. Very cool. Okay, just money. Feel like they've. It must mean they feel like they've got enough draw. You got net dad, and the spectator is me dad. Oh, that's classic. Okay. You see, this is where like the 54 cards might be problematic because we actually now really want to draw into. I don't think there's any way of us trashing a world tree, unfortunately. Um, we don't have anything that costs 6. Federal fundraising is pretty good with DBS, hell yeah, but I don't think we can fit that into OB. Um, but the turns, yeah, expected. So they're gonna get a turbine down. They can pull a simul chip at like any point. I'm probably gonna have to ice up archives here because otherwise they're gonna get ridiculous value. They're also gonna need to find some more MU, which is something. Do I put that on archives? I don't think so. Let's draw one. Very good. Let's put this in server 1 and this in server 1. Do need to find a Stavka. Like, how expensive can we make it to boost into this? For every card we throw out, it's going to cost them an extra 3 credits to boost. That's hilarious. That's worth like ditching all the cards in our hand. This is like if we ditch all the cards in our hand and they're running into a Stavka, then they have to boost by like 15 credits. Yeah, see, they're gonna get like serious value going on here. We might even just put a half run here so that we can extract it because that will do better for us. Ah, we got a Stavka. Is this? It's just protecting this server. Okay. Is corporate troubleshooter any server? I really tried at Tanuki D. I really tried to build World Tree Arasana, but all of my installs were so cheap it didn't feel. Yeah, the one thing I worry about it as well. This can go on archives. This can go in server 1, and we should have drawn. Going to draw last click like legends. Yeah. The one issue I have is that there's not many programs which you want to install that give you like forward tempo and money. Like we don't have multi-threader anymore or anything along those lines. CT is 1 resed ice protecting this server. CT. What's CT? Can't work now. Where's the border control here? Do we pop here? Maybe we pop to get a corporate troubleshooter. Corporate troubleshooter is one res size protect this server. Okay, so it's also got issues. I think we might pop here to get a. I guess they can just simul chip it back, go in again. But if they're using a simul chip for that, then that's great for us. There's a big lag in chat. Okay, apologies for that. Let's do this. We're gonna get a magnet on R&D. Yeah, so I think that Helheim server is probably better because it's not only once. The one thing about corporate troubleshooter is that we do get extra Yakov value off it, which will always amuse me. I'm also fine with popping this border control at this point because we're going to get it back. Yeah, so this is fine. They're now going to probably go get a buzzsaw, I would imagine. Got a lot of money. I mean, Welltree does print money if you can get it to that point. Inversificator, that is a big issue. We also can't trash that with a Kimberlite field. Oh, and they've got a simple chip back. Okay. Do we trash the magnet immediately? Because I don't want them wrecking on our servers. Can we just not install? Let's put this in a new remote and res it first. Okay. I think we have to get rid of this so that we have some plays on this server. So let's extract this. Probably just the wraparound on R&D to somewhat keep them out. And then we either put Takano or we put the agenda in the remote, or we put no, that's way too risky. Let's go wraparound R&D, and then I think I want to put the Takana in the remote. And that's probably wrong. It's almost definitely wrong. Yeah, pulling an inversificator. This is like scary stuff. We'll shuffle back. We definitely want the border control, and I think we want the extract. Turbine. Ooh, okay. So now this is a bit cheaper for them. World tree value. You see, the problem is here, like, what have they Arisana'd? Like, this is where, like, it's a world tree deck, but are you actually getting Arisana value apart from, like, maybe your Mayflies? Okay, this can't be moved with Inversificator, so that's excellent. Unless they hush it. If they hush it, then we're maybe in trouble. Scrolling chat, sorry. This still feels pretty good, right? So their echelon's at 4 strength. This will be at 7 if we trash something. And then we can boost it to like... Do we need any of these cards? We definitely don't need this. We might keep... Probably get rid of this. Oh, yes, don't click it all. Don't, like... We're going to trash a 12 credit liberated account. Feels amazing. Unless they click it again. Memory Diamond. Quite like this in Arizona. She likes hand size. Okay, we've got the SDS to score the potential win. So we will... What do we want? I think we just want a tithe, right? Just a tithe is like annoying enough. It's a 1 cost that we can trash. We probably protect... Oh, we were meant to trash this Hafren. Do we overinstall it? No, that doesn't make sense. It maybe makes sense. I don't want to give him really good value. So, yeah, we'll put it on archives, trashing this. And we'll trash this. I'll let them get their easy value here if they want it. So next turn, if we install double advance, love a Vovo in here to make all of this very, very cheap. How good is our server? Pretty damn good. Wanna undo turn? Yeah. All good. I think if we install advance this, then this Stavka becomes close to ruinous for them. Because we can genuinely throw away our entire hand and not care. So that would cost us 4, 5, 6. We'd then need 5 credits on top of that. So we then wouldn't be able to res. Well, I mean, we'd just have to res this and then click back up for credits. No, we could get... We could only get 2 if we trashed something here. So maybe we trash... Do we res and trash the Yakov? No, that just is credit neutral. And unfortunately, we're not trashing their barrier breaker here. And they do have a symbol chip out. So I think we'd trash their echelon and their inversificator, and we'd put a magnet here. And then I think we'd be okay. Would mean trashing this Winchester. Or we'd trash the tithe putting a spin doctor in the remote so that we wouldn't even care. This matchup in real life would take some time with all those triggers. Yeah, damn right. Trash for Toucan. Yes, we don't need a Tucana anymore. Absolutely. And we can get Evolve. Oh my gosh, that's such a good line. How did I not see that? There's a correct line here, I'm sure. Your deck probably has some pretty wild lines, I would imagine. Okay, they're running the Tithe. That's fine. It might just let us have a credit here. It might just let it fire completely. Getting out and Arasanaing the SMC, maybe so that they can. Yeah, they'd have to fire this on approach. SMC pop. Otherwise, you lose it. Ah, nice. Okay, so our server has fallen apart. Wait, no, okay, they haven't got enough clicks left to deep dive this. So I think then they're just short of credits. No snares. I will tell you that right now. Could we add a pivot and then play Malapert Dayvolt? They stole an SDS and they put the cleaver back, and now they have no Sybil chip. So now we can just push quite easily. Are we worried about them just winning off R&D? Only slightly. Do they go and get a world tree? Do they go and get a turbine here? And if so, how do we deal with that? We could border control R&D, so that if they do that, we can always pull them a virus, or we just push for the win. Trashing the Tithe to get a spin doctor is certainly a decent enough option. Trashing the wraparound to just get a... No, I think I want to keep the wraparound there. Let's get a spin doctor in a new remote. Woo! We'll put this in here, and we'll put this in here. No, we needed to wait. I forgot what I was going to be doing. Right, we needed to put this on here, and then what are we protecting more? HQ is pretty expensive to get into. I think we just put this in the server. I think it's pretty safe there. So advance, install the Zato grid in this ridiculous server. The best thing here is that we're gonna res feed like pretty much the entire server for like 0 credits. Am I worried here? Do I just res to force them to spend 2? Yeah. It's only 1, isn't it? Probably shouldn't have done this because now they could hush this. Yeah, thinking. Phil, such a line. Uh, yeah, trashing, getting their third simul chip, maybe? Would make the most sense. I just feel like they haven't really. Ooh, okay, we're getting deep dive next turn, so I'm glad that this border control is here. So now we can go advance, advance, and then let's put the Zeta grid in here so that we like feel good. Getting down to Baslar. Love it. We're going to have to pop like on this run. Is there any free costers that we want to get back? I think we don't actually ob off the border control. They can still deep dive us for like money, right? Can they get through this twice? Do we need the ob trigger here? Maybe to get a Vovo. So let's end the run there. I don't think we have any particularly great free costers. The best one would be Ashar, which is already out. Mavirus. Mavirus would be good, but only if they're threatening Conduit. I guess they could threaten Conduit this turn, because they could World Tree out a Conduit. That's scary, isn't it? How good is this server? Look at this clown car. Ridiculous. How are they going to deep dive you with no cards in hand? Oh my word. Look, alright. That is a very good question. They also might just be going in hard with Turbine here, with Conduit here. Deep diving me with no cards in hand is a really, really sick line. But yeah, I assume they. I mean, they would put a Conduit, but it's not going to feel that great unless if they snipe an agenda like immediately. They could just pull something else. Scoring ob. Everyone knows kill ob. Score, yeah. So we're scoring. We're trashing the runner's board while we're at it. Cold lava. I played not this exact deck on Saturday because we've taken it up to 54 cards because there was some stuff that we wanted to try. Kind of figure that you can play some more cards in ob. We score out. There's no kill package, but usually we score out by trashing half the board. Whoa, there's going to be some big old. There's lots of clicks here. Pulling Hannah Wheels off a world tree that's a sneaky way of gaining a big click. So are they just? I guess they're just building up for some crazy big deep dive turn. I've got to respect it. And I do have an agenda in here. I can also boost for Winchester. Oh no, I can't because it's not on that server. Sure. Uh, +1. All right. Should we res a Stavka and make it 1,000,000 strength? Sure. Can't pull a Volvo anymore, which is a shame. Do we just trash? Okay, thinking. We can get 2 credits off of just trashing this virus, which so it's worth doing this. Just wanna see how high this can go. We'll res this, and then we're nearly out of money here, but we can still do this. So we can trash the Takana, that's fine. So we'll res a Stavka, we'll trash another card. Yes, this one here. We will trash one card from it. We'll trash this, so they can't run in and get it. We'll trash this. We'll trash this. That'll do. Fires? Yeah. That should do. I think for now. So we can fire that. We'll trash what they need to get in, which is the cleaver, and we'll trash the echelon. Actually left myself a credit short, I think, here, which is hilarious. So we'll continue movement. We will res a wraparound. And yeah, I am short by a credit of scoring, which was a mistake. We will pull back this one here and one of them. Oh yeah, we can put that on server 1. We'll gain some credits just so that we can actually score this out next turn. Because we did go down to 2. But if we had been able to pull the Vovo, then this whole thing would have been like credit positive essentially. I've given them an extra turn. Yeah, fired them a virus for credits, but there's nothing else that I can fire credit wise. I should have actually installed an advanced for NGA front that's better money. Okay, 13 strength Stavka. Feels good. Feels like not many people are going to get through that. Outside of Bankar and maybe like Botulus, but they're going to need a cookbook down if they want to like double Botulus, like get through it with both. Streaming. Boomerang will get through it. Um, why really strong staff kit instead of Hafren? Because it's fun. Like, so the reason is that Hafren is good. Yeah, Boomerang is the way to deal with it, and Boomerang is how D took me apart in Game 7 by some excellent plays of installing Boomerang on what they had worked out was the face down staff kit on the remote before they ran. So that's probably the best way of dealing with it, because I guess Botulus we can always deal with a virus, which we obviously have access to. And yeah, so it's just another option, and the idea of the it wouldn't need to be 13 strength, but we just need to get the staff cut above the strength of Numb is my main thinking. So which we can do quite easily. This is a decent start against Criminal, I think. We'll keep this. Okay, are we going to protect HQ or are we going to jam? Let's go. Just want to go like this and then put leave a magnet on HQ. Problem is they're going to be on Shibboleth, but I also don't want to put the sandstone there. That feels worse. I'm going to put the border control on HQ. No one says you can't run corporate and Helheim. That is true. Then we can get some real crazy stuff. I'm definitely not against it. Now, Ken's on inside job, right? So, and probably also on well, Boomerang, inside job, pinhole threading. They're getting in here. Yeah. Like this. But at least I don't feel bad about not double icing it because they were getting in no matter what. We'll draw once. We'll resin gain 8. No. We'll put this in server 2 and then I think we stick this on R&D because I don't want to get yeah, I reckon we'll probably see a Debbie somewhere in here. Yeah, we didn't want to just get like Hermes out of the game. Okay, we have our what is this? Sandstone. Reasonable. This can go on server 2, this can go in server 2 and we'll hedge fund. And then next turn we can install double advance. Maybe just over installing the spin doctor here because I don't want to get back any of these cards. The other thing would be to pop them a virus and then pull back from a virus, and then we could get. I don't know if I want to show a wraparound though, because if they install a fractor, then we're in trouble. And maybe they'll stick down an Amakua and hope that they can get through this. Kimberlite also means that we could trash their Hermes. But I think I want to resin ice at least first. So let's start going here. Sure. This can't be bounced. Important to know. The ice can be, but we have 2 bits of ice. We can always also technically grab another bit of ice with the virus if we need it. It is indeed an upgrade, and it is indeed a virus. Okay, starting to flood up a little bit. We'll do a sort of safe-ish score. Let's see what they want to bounce. Yeah, makes sense. So I really like this border control net here now, in case we get leg worked. Okay, problematic. So I think we now want to try and kill their Kurapira. So we're going to try and pull the we're going to try and jam the Kimberlite field. I think we've got enough money. We're kind of safe from diversion. Turtle is annoying. Turtle's not annoying. We've got him a virus. Okay. Now, the question is here, do we trash? We haven't got a face up, which is really annoying. So we're going to have to res armor virus to kill something. Do we kill the Amakua? Yeah, exactly. I have to res the virus and trash the virus. Which means I possibly have to trash the Amakua. Oh my word. The other option is just to keep advancing this. But then they will bounce it. Slightly precarious position. Kind of wish I'd pushed the other Oaktown first. I thought they would at least run somewhere. But I mean, I guess Hermes, the kind of plan is don't run anywhere. So I can trash for Kurapira and get out a and just get out a wraparound. Probably on the remote. Thinking. Sorry. Probably on the remote, and then I like push out next turn. Or do I put the wraparound on centrals? I think the wraparound's going on a remote. Annoyingly, like they can inside job through it. We'll trash this. They can't run archives anymore, which is good. They probably bounce the HQ ice. Yeah. And then the question is, if we have to pop this, do we get a virus with it? Killing the Hermes would be fine, but I'm actually more interested in killing their Kurapira at that point, because their Hermes is going to start becoming less and less worth it. We're definitely going to res here because we're going to get rid of a border control and a diversion. And the question is do we pull a virus? I think we might do, and then we might slap a wraparound here. We can't immediately do that though. Alternatively, we can put. Oh, our sandstone's already out. Maybe Jeff's right. We can put an Afshar on HQ. It only costs them 1, -2. They gain 2 back. Don't feel like that's very good. We can put a magnet there. They now have to boost their shibboleth. That's worth knowing. I think just the magnet on HQ so that we've got something. They can go in again here. We probably just install double advance for Oaktown next turn. Remote's reasonably safe because this border control can pull. The other thing is to whack. No, I think the right option is to push here. So if they bounce the border control, we're sad. We're going to strand another boomerang here, which is ideal. If we res the sandstone, oh, okay. This magnet costs 3 credits to res, which I think we do res. Then this will cost us 4, 5, 6, 7, and we can still score out the Oaktown. Any minute they might okay, they're going for it here. We'll res the border control. I think actually just resing sandstone might have been better. Yeah, probably. So here we'll end the run. Yes. We'll get a virus, seems great, in server 2. Okay, perfect. We advance. We'll score here. Like, semi-tempted to just let it ride for a little bit. We can probably do this Rashida. Might pop this Mavirus now to get another wraparound, but that feels like I'm making things a bit flimsy. Oh, that would have been a good. That would have been a good. You see, this is. I haven't played enough with Tucana. That's an amazing line, Jeff. 100% should have done that. What are we throwing out here? We probably want this money. We're going to have to throw out 1 extract, I think. It's whether we just pop Tucana now. Pop this, sorry, for a wraparound now. It is indeed an asset. Do we want to just try and score out a Kimberlite field? Probably not, right? That's a bit too much. Yeah, Jeff, maybe I need to like. Oh yeah, okay, they pinhole is fine. Maybe I need to get your thinking head around like the actual version of this deck, because I think you might have some insight, which I would very much appreciate. Um, I might want to extract this for a wraparound, which feels okay. And then I could just install advanced for Kimberlite Field. The problem is I possibly want to pop this for a second wraparound so they can't inside job me. Hmm. Hmm. We're just going to install advanced files. This looks like an NGA front. It looks as much like an NGA front as anything else ever has. How much does it cost to Kurapira to get through a sandstone? Probably a fair amount. Probably enough for me to just install advanced, stick a sandstone out this turn, I would assume. Oh, do I go for the value? uh, doesn't need to be right opinions, Jeff. Just opinions are always good. Let's resin gain. It's like I could put the Yakov in and go for additional value, but I think that's just being greedy, right? I think I just do this, this, this. Yeah, not popping the virus for a Tucana was like that would just be so much gas just in that point, and then we could extract the Tucana to get a tithe. Yeah, oh man, we would have rolled out after that. I did forget they had a lot more money than I considered, but I think we're pretty good to close out here. We might just lose off. Oh, it's fine. I have exactly 3 credits left. They might be. What I was kind of expecting is the run event, which CTZ was on. Um, the recursion one, which nearly screwed me over on Saturday. Let's do this and just do what we were meant to do with it, which is this one here. Done. That is a really good showing of what this deck can do. Um, we're going to do another one, right? What's the time? It's not that late, is it? Oh my god, we can do another one. Katorga, yeah. So Katorga, I thought I absolutely had um, Redino on the ropes in our game, and he had like two leeches out, and I trashed his barrier breaker and his turtle, and then he Katorga'd into HQ, gaining 2 leech counters, pulling back his Corroder, installed his Corroder, and managed to run the server with exactly the credits to do it. Um, it's pretty great. Like the turn is you see like the cogs turning even though you can't see him play. It's really fun. Um, and yeah, like it solidifies the deck against one thing which it really struggles with. There might be a bit of background noise while the kettle goes on, so apologies. Um, Meanwhile, So this is the ridiculous version which we're playing today. Uh, which I'm pretty happy with for a 54 card deck. I would like to play a pivot. Like if we could cut, maybe we cut one Yakov and we play we play a Malapert, and then we cut one other thing to play the pivot. Is it the Tucana? Tucana seems really good. I think I just need the money. Could be one. We could drop to one tithe. One tithe is probably fine. Because then we can just, like, we can roll out a lot quicker. Like, Kimberlite Field, score Kimberlite Field into pivot, grab a Kimberlite Field, advance, feels like super rude. Does that make the whole thing a bit too janky? Probably. Okay. Uh, MCG in the house. Got a Padma deck. This feels reasonable. I don't love this ice for protecting HQ. Can we just not protect HQ? Let's try not protecting HQ and see how badly we lose. That's fine. Do we jam out behind the envelopment here? Or behind the border control? Probably behind the envelopment, right? Watch this be like inside job Padma. Or they just hush it. Like the thing to do here is like you just put a hush on this, and then whatever it is that I'm trying to jam out behind is going to either be a border control or an envelopment, and you can kind of deal with it. Okay, we can score. Feels good. I've now just got to be careful to not instantly lose off R&D. So I probably want a border control on R&D and then a staff cut outside the border control. Or we put the ballista there. Oh, I hate this card. Man, it's going to suck to play. I almost wish I was back on Rosa Turret, but oh, we draw a half run early. That's frustrating. Put that on the inside. We'll put this on the outside. If you haven't seen it as well, I don't know how you haven't seen it. If not, it's got like about a gajillion likes. Go and check out CTZ's write-up of the worm. It is such an this is actually good. It's such an epic write-up. Yeah, really, really worth it. I'm slightly worried about losing to Wake. Ooh, that's a big play. Good thing we got nothing in hand, eh? Yeah, Hermes is really strong. Jeff, how you and Andre didn't put this like in Ban Me Please, I don't know. I think you were incredibly focused on how good it was in Criminal, and I think where it's very good is outside of Criminal. Why would you have a half run in? Don't know. Just had some inf left over. Or something like that. Why it's in my hand is another matter. Do I want to protect HQ now? I think it's slightly overused at the moment. Okay. Maybe. do I want to protect HQ? I don't really want to protect it with this, so I'm just going to take some credits and play a bit slow. Potentially, I think it's getting results, right? Like, as much as it is maybe a bit overused, it's also winning games. We've got a propeller. We can potentially boost stuff outside of propellers. Anytime, Jeff. Always good to have you on. We will catch you sometime soon. Right, we're going to Rashida off. We won't shuffle. Ooh, we got a Vovo. Very cool. Do I want to draw with Spin Doctor here? No, not really. Oh, but I do want to shuffle back in the Hafram. New remote. Res. Mm-hmm. We'll put you in server 1, and we'll take a credit. Or we draw again and we throw. Yeah, so we're going to throw this and we're going to throw the sandstone back in as well. Because I kind of want to be able to pull the sandstone off a border control. Yeah, you can see these. Install double advance. They can get through an envelopment. They currently can't get through a ballista. It's not the like they can get through an envelopment quite easily actually for what 5 credits. So maybe I need the border control as well. We'll put these 2 back in. Turbine. Okay. Fine. This means I need to start moving faster. Could I boost the envelopment out of their reach? Could do. I've also got Zato, right? So I can just trash the envelopment. Trash the propeller. I'm talking about the propeller. Yeah, so I think I'd just install double advance. Unfortunately, I'm not at threat 4. Which is a shame. Okay. That's a shame. Do we trash the turbine or do we trash the propeller? Or do we just let this ride for a second? Server 1. Server 1. Advance. Probably lose off R&D here as they bounce my lovely option. Okay. Shame. No, this is alright. We're going to border control. Tricky. So we need them to install their barrier, their sentry breaker. Do we want to actually res this or not? I don't think we do. I think we just res the border control, pop the border control, put a magnet here. Res border control. They break border control. Ooh, it's actually gone quite expensive all of a sudden. I have less money than I thought. We'll see if I was too greedy here, then I was too greedy here. That does happen. We'll put a magnet on R&D. If I can actually score this off, then at least I can res everything here very, very cheaply. So now the question is, do I res for Stavka? I don't think I do. Upsetting if they manage to bounce here, because I will be destitute. They'd have to symbol chip out. Okay, so we can make this 7 strength. We could trash just anything here would be fine. We could trash the Yakov, which we res. Well, there's no point in resing it then. Or we could trash the magnet. No, that feels bad. So if we res it here, this is 7 strength. They would have to get down an echelon, which will cost them 2 plus 3, so that's 5. They then need to boost, which is 3. It would cost them all their money, but they can manage to do that. They then will no longer have a symbol chip. But I will have enough money to score out and then trash whatever I want to. Probably it's almost tempted to be their turbine, but it will likely be the echelon. Okay. All of their money. Is it worth all of their money? Yeah. Screw it. Trash the envelopment. If they've got a Palangi in their deck, then I'll be really upset because that would be a very cheap way for them to deal with this. If I have done the maths, you are credit perfect to break this, assuming your breaker sweet. Yeah. No bounce. No take backs. Right, so now we advance, score, trashing the echelon which they just installed. They get to bounce something. That makes sense. And then I think we res the Volvo. We're a credit short. I was going to say we res the Volvo, we res the Yakov. This will cost us 3 credits to res, so we do still need to be able to res it. So let's gain a credit, and we'll throw out a Magnet. Kind of tempted to... No, I'm going to keep the Helheim. Could get quite rude. Oh, no, we're still a credit short. Because Volvo crossed the credit to res. Yeah, forgot about that. Now, if I have that installed, then they can break it. At least we can res the server for free. Okay, so we'll at least get some money from this. Really annoying that we can't. We're a credit short. I absolutely ballsed this one. Can I res it? No, I can't res it. Do we res the Zato now anyway? No. This is persistent, right? Oh, it's not persistent. Dang. I thought I was going to make loads of money from them trashing all this stuff. Left myself a credit short there. Left myself a credit short. Whoops. Okay. We can extract the Stavka to get probably another Zato, right? In here. Let's do that before we accidentally draw into a Zato. Either that or we just put an Afshar on HQ. Afshar HQ is probably fine. That means I can draw with Spin Doctor and not be like completely wrecked. This ironically actually can... No, it can... I can walk through it. It's absolutely fine. We'll put the Mavirus in the server. Why extract the Stavka when they have no killer? That is a really great question. I should have left it there. I'm going to say because it's quite late and I wasn't paying enough attention, and now I'm going to get wrecked because of it, but luckily I have a virus right here. We'll let them... do we res this so it doesn't get bounced? Yes. Yeah. I should have left the Stavka there. It's one of the reasons that I trashed their Echelon, where I've normally trashed the Propeller or the Unity, because I normally don't care too much about their killers. I've got other way of dealing with killers. Do we want to shuffle anything in at the start of the round here? We might want Stavka back. I kind of want the Volvo back. I possibly want the Zato back. Alternatively, we get the Yakov back just because we are poor. All of these are good options. I think the Vovo. Maybe we just don't shuffle back yet. Oh, there's a Stavka. That's good. So we could turn this. None of those are great things to turn into anything. But I think we need the money, so I might just have to sell one of these to get something going. So if we leave ourselves open on HQ, are we going to get like Wake implanted? I kind of feel like we are. I think it's about the best thing that we can do though. Just for money is probably fine. We'll put in one of these on R&D. No, we put a Stavka on R&D. Oh, but we're going to want a Stavka for the remote. We're going to lose on R&D if we're not careful. And we'll put this here. Okay. So now we actually want to pull a Rashida. Rashida's a little bit scary with open. Is there any good free cost sentries? I think that's what I was looking for before, and that's why I almost ended up on Swordsman. But it's only good if you're against like Turtle. So now we might just want Rashida back. And the other Stavka is probably correct, as much as I like the Vovo. Okay, another Mavirus. We'll draw once. We found a Rashida, so that's good. Put that here. Do we want to just put a Sandstone on HQ for now? Feels okay. No, I think I want to just put this on server 1. The only free cost entry in faction was the ambush one. Yeah, it was Sapper, which was quite good. I'm just wondering if there's anything. I think I've scoured through all of the ice at like a variety of costs and haven't found. Whoops, I didn't want to change that. And haven't found one. Haven't found anything. But is there anything out of faction which I should be considering? Right, this is problematic. Especially here. We need a Kimberlite field. Quite badly. Owl. Yeah, I did look at it. It's 2 cost, which is actually, well, which is like, okay. Guess it does something. Drafter is not a bad shout. So if I res the Stavka. Oh, can I just... No, I can't Stavka Hafren them. So I probably shouldn't. I'll just res the Stavka. Right? Maybe I trash... Do I trash a border control? Just to get it like up to strength. And then next time if they run through it again, then I Mavirus them. This way it still costs them like money. This gains me money. Yeah, sure. We'll trash this. So here, now they have to get their killer out. But then once their killer's on the board, then I can pop them virus to pull a Hafren at any point. So that's far scarier for them. Selling the conduit kind of makes sense. I mean, with this Mavirus out, it's not a great run. I'm going to res Rashida here. because I don't want it bounced. I have 2 pieces of ice. This one they walk through. What am I going to lose here? The border control. If they go here, then I can kill a program. Oh, but that's so much money. No, I gain some money from doing it. Trash the magnet behind because it's costing them 1. Yeah, trashing the magnet is... Oh, that's annoying. Kind of wanted to keep that. Trashing the magnet probably. The thing is, it's a face-up ice, so I kind of wanted to keep it, and it is an end run. See, this is the problem with our 54 card deck. We cannot draw the agendas for the life of us. Right, we're going to put that there. We're going to put one of these on here. This is like pretty safe. Do we put the Stavka somewhere as well? Maybe we should have put the Stavka here. I think we can just take a credit. Just need to ob trigger more, so R&D... Yeah. If we fire ob every single turn, then we'll burn through our deck quicker, right? So I'm glad I didn't play a 54 card version on the weekend, because it's definitely grindier. Anemone essentially I've just seen is fun, but we've got no other damage in our deck, so I don't really like it. I'm interested in Drafter though. Steve is a problem. Probably should have protected HQ. They can get back 2 symbol chips here, which is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Because it also means symbol chip means they can reset their echelon, which means that our like Stavka kind of wonders don't work. It doesn't stop us killing it with Zeta Grid, which I think there's still one in the deck. A gamble? You can have a gamble. I guess they are like, we are taxing them on money. If we draw an Oaktown, can we jam it in this server? We can go install advance and then protect HQ, and then we're all right. Ooh. So we res, pop this, get a Hafren, trash this. Then do we pop the border control as well because we want to fire off the Rashida? We probably just trash the propeller, right? So is there any point in trashing the border control? Do we dismantle our whole server to fire a Rashida? Maybe. I guess the ballista will stay there. So then do we need to actually trash their echelon? Yeah. I said we didn't trash the killers. We're trashing all the killers tonight. So we res ball control. This costs 4. This costs 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to get back some money. Right? I think. Kill the Unity. Yeah, it's not a bad shout. but we have basically we have more, and we have always should be the barrier breaker because we have more barriers, apart from in some action here. Res Ballista, Purge, Ob, yes, Hafren, Server 1. We have to trash a card from HQ, yes, so we're actually going to get rid of a magnet. We'll choose this one here. And then this is an end run, so trashing the echelon is actually worth it. We now have to protect HQ so that they don't Steve. So we can fire, trash a program, this one. And then we do want to protect our Rashida. So much money though. Look, Yakov, Rashida. We don't want to shuffle. Okay, can we push in this server? Install advance. Thanks, Ben. Had a great time. Install advance, put Stavka on HQ. Probably deals with it, right? Install advance Stavka HQ. Simul chip from hand would wreck us, but we can just res this here. Do we need to trash anything else? What if we trash? Do we want to get like another piece of ice here? Yes. Trash this. Yes. Zato's fine. We're putting that in there. Thought I had another free cost ice. Didn't. This is going to fire. We're going to get rid of their breakers. They can't even break the half run now. I mean, they'll get a Simul chip here, but a Simul chip's only going to get them so far. And we can Zato them at least once. We can Zato them twice, so they need to... They don't even have enough clicks. So I think their play here is to get 2 Simul chips. Install a Simul chip. Run R&D twice. Can they access twice? If they access the SDS drone deployment here, we're actually in trouble. Because then they could win off a single in R&D. And it will make me wish that I'd maybe trashed the Yakov here. Ooh, not the Simul chip. Definitely. All right, fair. I will remove the Unity from the game. Okay. There is a chance we lose. There is a very significant chance that we could lose. I did forget that they had a Docklands here. I'm so glad we didn't give them back the Unity. Install Unity. I mean, 2 chips here. They could install a chip, reinstall the Unity, run R&D. They could get 1 access. That's probably all that could be all they need. They can't get in here. We've got nothing in archives, right? Just to check. Sure. Slap Vandal doesn't do it for them. Maybe they've got one other sneaky tool. I haven't seen. I guess they're on at least 2 Hermes, maybe 3 Hermes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On through. I guess out of the agendas which we have left, at least the SDSs um, would be fine. Yeah. Okay, top of the deck was not an agenda. So solid though. Like, I mean, we could have like maybe played that slightly better. It's a bit late here, and I missed a few lines and a few obvious things. YouTube ban Ob. But we didn't score a Kimberlite field this game, which is sad. But we got to do some fun shenanigans. Ballista was actually good. Ugh, I hate the fact that it was good because it means it is the right choice. It's better than it's better than what I was playing. What was I playing? Oh, whoops! I've changed the list now. But playing Roto Turret, and I think this is better than Roto Turret. So there's that. It's also a 5 cost, which we actually have only one other of. Otherwise, so I think so. Oh, someone wants to offer me promotion on my channel. Don't go to that. Don't, whatever you do, don't go to that. I haven't. I'll work out how to ban these things at some point. I think that's it for tonight. But do keep an eye out. I'll be posting my games from the weekend with the actual decks that I played. They'll be up on the WooTube, YouTube, sometime soon. Maybe tonight. It is getting late, but maybe tonight. At least 4 of them will be up. And I just need to do a bit of editing on the last one. And yeah, big thank you to everyone who ran and played and had anything to do with Saturday. It was well, the whole weekend. It was real fun. Massive shout out to PSK, especially for like doing so much organising and judging for such a big tournament. It must have been a massive headache. And congrats to everyone who played, especially soccer. Taking the tournament down in style on stream as well. Excellent stuff. All right, that's it for tonight, guys and girls and everyone else. Sorry, I don't ever say guys. I can't believe I did that. Say crap. It is late. Good night, everyone. I'll maybe see you next week. I'll be coming home from a festival. We'll see if I'm alive.